Talk to us about the impact, though, that this is having on it when it comes to base metals, because if you look across the broad spectrum, we are seeing significant volatility across a whole range of base metals. Why are we seeing such a stark impact?
So China is the world's largest consumer as well as a producer of base metals, metals in general. And the power crunch is acting like a double-edged sword for metals. So on one hand, a number of metals producers, especially aluminium producers, have been asked to halt or limit their production since June at least. And this is so that the pressure on the power grid is reduced. However, on the other hand, downstream activity has also starting to get impacted. So because of that, the metals used in these downstream industries, such as autos and consumer electronics, demand for these metals used in them are also being affected as well. So supply as well as demand is being affected thanks to the power crunch in China. And it remains to be seen where the balance is found. Is demand going to override supply issues, or are supply issues going to override demand issues?
Well, what is it? What do you think is going to happen?
I think right now the best bet is for volatility to ensue. We could see supply issues being overridden by demand issues on one day. The next day, it could be a different story altogether. So volatility is the best bet right now because of the major influence China has on metals markets, being the largest consumer and producer of them.
Just finally, which commodity out of the ones that we've been talking about, particularly across the base metal complex, do you think is the most exposed? We've been witnessing this significant fall when it comes to the iron ore price, but is it iron ore or something else?
So iron ore as a ferrous metal, that is being impacted due to basically a lot of fundamental factors, but most recently because of Evergrande, China's second largest property developer. And it is actually the major consumer of most of the ferrous metals that are used in construction. So iron ore has a different story there. In terms of the power crunch, if you want to go back to it, then the most impacted right now is aluminium, because aluminium uses the most power in its production compared to all other metals because of the significant amount of power that is needed in the electrolytic process that converts aluminium to metal. So definitely for the power crunch, most exposed is aluminium. In terms of Evergrande issue, it's definitely iron ore and steel.